Hey AJ.
Hey, Minnie. What's up, man?
Nothing much, man. Hey, quick question. I know it's probably off topic from what you called about, but have you played any good games this year?
Shit, I don't know, man. I played like maybe six.
Splitgate really surprised me this year, since it was the one thing I thought an FPS could never be: fun. Trust me when I say that this is the only shooter that I kept consistently coming back to. It just had so much going for it. Its game modes were unique and plentiful enough that you never really ran out of shit to fuck around with, and the skins looked pretty good for the most part. The game definitely wasn't without its issues, made evident by the fact that throughout my 30 hours of playtime I had like 6 DEFCON 1 nuclear meltdowns. Honestly, that's probably part of the reason why the player base took a fucking nosedive back in August, with the game barely clocking in a couple thousand daily players. And while a dwindling player base doesn't ruin the game, it's disappointing to see it in the state it's in now, especially since I think it has the makings of an actually good multiplayer shooter. Only problem is, I haven't got a fucking clue how the devs are going to get their player base back, and it seems like they don't really either. Webbed is a really sweet and cutesy game, and is one that you'll definitely want to replay as soon as you're done with it. The game's about a spider saving her boyfriend from the giant evil bird that kidnapped him. I've been following Webb's development for a while now when I first saw them on TikTok. The game showed promise then, and is now one of my favorite 2D puzzle platformers. It's really impressive to me just how much effort they put into sprite work, music composition, and movement mechanics. Web swinging is going to be your main way to get around, and thank God for that, because it's just so cool. Along with this, you can spin webs and connect 2 points with a tightrope, making janky terrain easier to cross. I will admit that it is a bit of a stretch to call them puzzles, though. Throughout my 4 or so hours of gameplay, I didn't actually get stuck on a puzzle solution at all, but seeing as it's clearly more of a casual game, I don't really mind that. Most importantly here, Webbed is bursting with these really funny or just really cool ideas. This entire section here is one big skate park, and your reward for completing its challenge is that you get to keep the skateboard and use it anywhere in the world. As I said earlier, it's only about 4 hours long, probably a little bit longer if you're a completionist, but Webbed is definitely worth spending an afternoon on. "2021 was the first time that I actually sat down and completed Subnautica, and was the first time I had the realization, oh shit, this game is actually really good. Subnautica is a tropical nightmare scenario, where you are the only survivor after your spacecraft crashes. And to add insult to injury, everything wants to fucking eat you. The survival aspects of the game are super polished, the design of the creatures is phenomenal, so it's usually pretty easy to determine what wants you dead or not, and base building is really open, with all sorts of opportunities to do little stuff like this. You're given a lot of freedom overall, but not too much freedom to let you get comfortable with your surroundings. The game knows exactly where that balance lies, but even still, getting new vehicles or weapons still feels like you're progressing and are adapting to your environment. If I have one major complaint about the game, it's that it's pretty hands-off, and while sometimes that's a really good thing, especially considering the context of the game, other times it's not, leaving you not really knowing where to go next without the assistance of a walkthrough, or in my case, an educated friend in a Discord call. In any case though, it's still a really good game to do a blind playthrough of if you still don't know all the major story spoilers, or hell, even if you do. I sunk an embarrassing amount of time into Gorilla Tag over the past year, and obviously I owe it some credit for being the thing that started my channel. This one's going to be a little short, since everything I said in that review back in March absolutely still stands true now. Movement is simple enough to understand and easy enough to master if you put enough time into it. And in addition to all of that, more maps have been added, a currency system has been put into place, and we're constantly getting new game modes, hats, and maps as the devs roll out updates every month or so. Even now, I recommend that everyone with VR check this one out. It's a really simple game and a great pick if you're trying to get started with VR, and is an even better pick if you feel like making fun of British people. Ultrakill is a fucking brutal game with so much shit going on the entire time that I genuinely don't know where to begin. The most prevalent aspect of the game is movement, and it is going to be your best friend in Ultrakill, even more so than the weapons. At any given time throughout the campaign, you need to be expecting at least 4 guys shooting at you, 2 dozen running straight at you, and 2 to 6 mini-boss enemies. And you better hope to fucking God that you can outmaneuver all of that at once. Throughout the game, you are not held by the hand, and because of that, you are going to die in Ultrakill. A lot. But even still, you've got to keep playing it because of this insane rush it gives you. The game not only encourages close combat, but mandates it by making dousing yourself in fresh blood the only way to regenerate health. But really, the game would be nothing without good gunplay, and thankfully it delivers on that too. While there are only 4 weapons in the game, at least right now, each weapon has 2 different firing styles. For example, you can use the charged shot on the pistol, or flip a coin, shoot it, and ricochet a bullet off of it. The game doesn't get any easier as you play it. It gets much, much harder. But after you play it for long enough, you start using all your movement mechanics, you start cycling weapons more, you start getting better at it, and it happens without you even noticing. I managed to limp my way through standard difficulty, and by the time I was finished, I went back, played it, whooped the game's ass, and then proceeded to get decimated by violent difficulty. Obviously, with it just being a DLC to 3D World and not its own game, I wasn't expecting a lot from Bowser's Fury, and thankfully, I was very fucking wrong. Bowser's Fury from top to bottom is this fucking nutso exploratory theme park ride bursting with ideas so wild and out there that by the end I was just fucking dumbfounded. Every level incorporates these already 2,000 IQ ideas from 3D World and perfectly translates them into an actual 3D game. Every idea throughout is just perfectly executed every single time and always leaves you saying, hell yes, what is next? Every section you play always ends at a lighthouse high above everything else and gives you a perfect opportunity to look for the next thing to go do. And don't even get me started on the soundtrack, oh my god. The music has this incredible sense of wonder to it, each song with a unique sound that perfectly sets the stage for the level you are about to play. The ice level has this peaceful, calm serenity to it, but still managed to keep an upbeat and cheerful tune, and sounds like it was taken right from Nightmare Before Christmas. Then you head over to Scamper Shores and suddenly you're at a fucking hoedown with this goofy sounding cartoonish theme and all these stupid looking rats running around. Then you hop on Plessie and are knocked on your ass with Mario Kart music out of nowhere as you blister around at fucking Mach a million. And with the entire world being just one big level, it's as easy as possible to transition from section to section to section at warp speed. Nintendo was given this impossible task of taking 3D World and making it into a fully fledged exploration game, and they fucking nailed it. What I expected to be this horrible amalgam of Odyssey and 3D World was actually this wonderfully crafted experience that chokes me up even now. I know that this isn't a Mario game in the traditional sense, but the way I see it, if you have the soul and the music and the feeling that you're playing a Mario game, then you are playing a Mario game. I genuinely cannot wait to see what Nintendo has set up next for Mario, but if it's even half as good as Bowser's Fury, it's gonna be a masterpiece.
Yeah, that's probably about it.
Well, thanks. I guess I'll go check those out.
Yeah, because that's exactly why I called you. I was mainly concerned as to why you sent a death threat to my entire family, Minnie.
Well, thanks for calling, man. I'll talk to you later.